Do you want to save the world? Now, I'm asking this question to unbelievers and believers, non-Christians and Christians. Now, I expect different answers from both groups, but I don't know if that's what I'm going to get. So I'm going to ask some follow-up questions to this to clear up what I mean by saving the world. Let's say that global warming is real. I'm not saying it isn't or that it is. I'm saying for the sake of this question, let's go with global warming being real. That global temperatures are rising. It's going to melt ice caps, which is going to change the oceans, because there's going to be more fresh water, and the temperature change is going to change life in the ocean. It's going to raise sea levels and change how things are on the land, especially with rising temperatures. And even creatures that fly, it's going to end up affecting them. It's going to get to the point where it affects human life, where it's unsustainable for humans to live on the earth. All right? So let's say that's how it is. Do you want to do something to prevent that, to save the world? Right? Whatever it may be, like little things you can do, big things you can do on your own, things you can do with everybody else. Do you want to do things to save the world from this? All right, another scenario. Let's say you find out that there is an asteroid coming to Earth, and it's big enough, when it hits the Earth, it's going to destroy it. At least destroy life on Earth, because it's just going to be devastating, the damage it's going to cause, right? And they're predicting that all life would be wiped out, right? Again, would you want to do something to prevent this? Right? Whether you put your time, energy, and money into doing something to prevent this from happening, would you want to do it? Now, let's say it's another scenario. The pollinating creatures like the bees are, without a doubt, dying off, and they're not able to artificially do hives and stuff. They can't get the bee population back up. It's declining, and it's declining real fast, and they're not able to stop it. And if that happens, well, the world as we know it is going to change. We're not going to be able to have food to feed us or the other animals. Right? It could be an extinction level event, at least for humans. Right? Would you want, again, to do something to prevent this, to stop this, to save the world? Now, I imagine unbelievers are definitely, without a doubt, saying yes, unless they're crazy, right? Now, believers, you shouldn't necessarily be saying yes to any of these things. And you may be saying, why? Well, if you're a Christian, you should believe God. You should believe His Word. And He told you how the end's going to be. So you shouldn't be worried about any of these things. He didn't say that the world's going to end by global warming. And He said He's not going to destroy the world again with a flood. Right? He didn't say, hey, all the crops are going to be destroyed from the insects, and there's not going to be enough food for anybody to eat, and that's how the world's going to end. Right? He didn't tell us that the asteroid's going to come and destroy the earth. He told us something like that, though. In Daniel chapter 2, he tells us about a stone cut without hands coming down and hitting the kingdom of this world and destroying them all, where God sets up His kingdom for 1,000 years. But that is a metaphor of the return of Jesus. Right? So the world's not going to be destroyed by an asteroid. So if you hear about these events about how the world's going to be destroyed by this, that, and the other thing, you're basically saying you don't believe God. You don't believe His Word. So do you really want to save the world? Why are you going to put an effort into these things when you know that these things are not actually going to be what destroys the earth. Not to mention, God says that, hey, one way or another, the body you have right now, he's getting rid of it. It's going to be destroyed. And he's going to give you a new one. And then later on, he's going to destroy the earth and create a new one. And he says that he's going to destroy the earth. He's going to do it by fire. So there's nothing you can do to save the world or your flesh. God said it's set for destruction. Right? And that's just that. You're going to have to deal with it. He's going to create a whole new one. Which is a good thing, a great thing. So if you're Christian and you're focused on this physical world and how it is now, and wanting to save your physical flesh and the life you have now, and to save this world as it is, you're basically putting yourself in opposition to God. And the reason why I'm presenting this is not just to get you to let go of this life and this world for God. And it's not just to build up your belief and trust in God, to let these things go and to just believe His word and to trust Him. But it's what we see in the movies, in the shows, in the news, all these different things we see, like a lot of the times with these comic book heroes, there's some devastating entity or event going to happen, and the superheroes are coming here to save the earth, to save the planet, to save everybody on it. Right? They're going to save everyone from the destruction. Right? And we sit there and we root for them to be victorious. Right? But all in all, this is what is called predictive programming. You see, because we are told in the scriptures, such as Daniel 2, where I told you the stone cut without hands is going to come and destroy the kingdoms of the world. And God's going to come and establish His own kingdom here on the earth. Right? But how does Satan portray that in the movies? He acts as though there's an entity coming that is going to invade and conquer the earth and impose his will and enslave humanity. And we need to fight against him. But we're actually enslaved right now. And the people acting like they're protecting us are not. They're trying to keep their slaves. While the one, Jesus, who is coming, He's coming to set us free, to establish His kingdom where there will be freedom and peace. But the kingdoms of this world don't want to let us go. And we're stuck in a cycle of war and famine and separating mankind into different classes and all these different things, where it's obviously not a system that we want, right? But God is coming to set us free, and these people, like the government, act like they're trying to protect us from these things. And you ever notice that in all these comics and these movies and shows about the superheroes, they're always aligned with the government? Even Superman. He doesn't oppose the governments of the world. Don't you all ever thought that was weird? Why? Especially when he sees governments and he knows all the evil that's going on. Yet he will submit himself to the governments. Why is that? He has the power to actually do something about it, but he doesn't. I said he submits to the governments as if they actually have some kind of authority when they don't, especially over him. Right? But you see how he's trying to set an example that you too must submit to the governments. Right? All these superheroes, they all do this. They all give in to the government to give you an example to follow. Right? It's called propaganda. And you don't even realize it's being pulled on you. Right? And all in all, It's because the main thing that's going to happen soon is that God is coming. Jesus is going to return, and as we read in Revelation 19, he's returning with his armies. And Satan wants you to think that he is some kind of bad guy, an evil being of some kind. So he always portrays Jesus and his return as if he's an evil monster, right? For example, with Marvel Avengers and stuff, you have him portrayed as Thanos, right? Where when God returns, he's going to separate the sheep from the goats, the wheat from the tares, right? He's going to divide things up. So they have, when Thanos snaps his fingers, half the population is gone, right? That's just a symbol for dividing people up. It might not be divided 50-50 like that, but that's how he divides things up, right? And they act as though, oh, Thanos is the evil one, when he's actually bringing a just judgment onto the earth, right? You can even take that snapping of people that are being removed as being the people who are raptured, set free from what's going on here, because they've accepted God's salvation, right? But then the people here of earth will make it act as though that we are like traitors for siding with God over the governments of this world that don't give a rat's ass about us. And obviously so, where everybody here will complain about the government, they'll complain about how life is and the systems, how they're screwing them over, but then they'll fight to the death to defend them. It's like everybody has Stockholm Syndrome, right? They fell in love with their captors. So if you're a Christian, you should be for all of this. Not trying to save the world as it is. It's horrible as it is. You might be a bit comfortable, more comfortable than some other people, so you want to protect it, so you stay comfortable. But if you're truly caring about other people, the things need to definitely change. Jesus needs to come back. But you see, like another one with the Fantastic Four movie, based off of Galactus in the comic books, where Galactus, they even say was supposed to be their likeness of God. They wanted to make a godlike figure, where he came and just like Jesus, after his 1,000 years that he's going to reign here on the earth, when the world rebels against him still, after he brings peace for 1,000 years, he's going to destroy the whole earth. And that's what Galactus comes to do in the movie. He's coming to destroy the earth. Right? And people want to save the earth. They don't care how the world is. They want to save it as it is. Right? And in this recent one, I was invited to go see it with my nephews. And it was kind of nostalgic. And it was fun hanging out with my nephews, but I was looking at all the messages going on in the movie. Or Galactus returns, and everybody's hiding underground. And that's exactly what they say about Jesus when he returns. They all hide themselves in the clefts of the rocks and the mountains, in the earth, basically in their bunkers. And that's exactly what the people do. They all hide under the earth when he comes and returns. They're trying to hide themselves from the wrath of the Lamb. Right? And in this one, Galactus was willing to make a deal to save the earth. Right? And if you look at it from the point of view of the scriptures, God is like, hey, the world is sinful. And it needs to be destroyed and renewed. We got to recreate it. But Jesus, he steps in, he's like, I will die for them. Right? I'll sacrifice myself to save the world. And in this movie, you have the two character there, Mr. and Mrs. Richards there, a married couple there, supposed to be part of the heroes of the Fantastic Four. They have a child. I think they called his name Franklin. And this Galactus is saying, oh, this child is special, is able to swallow up my hunger, basically his desire for justice, right? Because he has a hunger, and that's why he's going to destroy the earth, because he's going to eat it. And he's going to eat it because it's God is a consuming fire, and he consumes sin, right? just dissolves it up. But the child, like Jesus, a special child born, and this child even raises someone from the dead in the movie, Galactus says, oh, this one will suffice my hunger, right? I won't have that hunger anymore. And then it becomes this battle between the Fantastic Four and the people, where the people are like, sacrifice your child, right? For us, so that we may live. But in this one, they don't want to sacrifice their child, right? They're not going to sacrifice. They're not accepting the sacrifice of Jesus to save their souls, right? You can see that's what it is, a world that rejects the sacrifice of Jesus Christ, the innocent one, because it's a baby, right? They don't want to sacrifice the innocent one for themselves, right? And so they try to fight God, right? And that's the predictive programming, is to get you in that same mindset. So when these fallen angels come to the earth, they're going to appear to be like superheroes, and they're going to act like they're here to save the world, right? But they're trying to save the sinful world in the sinful state it's in, to keep their hierarchy the way it is, and to keep you all blind and subjected to it, and to constantly put up with their BS, and to keep you from being set free from God, set free by God, right? And so they act like the one who's coming to save you is the enemy, who's the bad guy, who wants to enslave you when you already are enslaved, right? So they twist it all up, where you want to try to save the world, save your hide, when you should be giving it all up, right? And I was just picking up on the little messages they were given, and decided to make a video about it. So, with all that being said, I think I'll wrap it up here. All right? I think I said it all. And they like to try to make it sound as though they're gonna win. They're gonna actually defeat God without having to offer up the sacrifice. Right? But that's not how it's going to work. So, with all that being said, if you were going to watch the movie, I guess it's too late to spoil alert, but it is what it is. I don't go out to watch too many movies. So, when I do, I dissect them, see the message that's giving. And that's the message. The message is over and over telling you the same thing about Jesus who's coming. He's the bad guy. And we're going to try to fight and save you from him. Right? And then if you side with Jesus who's coming, you're siding with the enemy. You're a traitor. So you can see how the world would very easily justify killing Christians, because Christians are going to be welcoming the return of Jesus. But the people of earth are going to be like, what are you talking about? He's the enemy. He's coming to destroy everything. He's like, good. It needs to be destroyed. Right? But they don't want it destroyed. They want to keep it as it's going. Because they love the sin. They hate God. So, with all that being said, hope you think about these things. Thank you so much for watching the video all the way through. I appreciate it. If you like this content, please take a moment to pray to our Heavenly Father that He keeps this stuff going, keeps us all going, and provides for us and protects us until He comes and gets us. Don't forget to do what Isaiah said and find the book of the Lord and read it. Do what Paul said and study the Word. Just to show yourself approved unto God, rightly dividing the word of truth, and do what John said and keep the Word, so that Jesus will keep us from the temptation that's going to come upon the whole earth. And then Jesus will never tell us we do err not knowing the Scriptures. And if you want to help out some more, you can like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, share the video, share the channel, interact in the comment section. These things help out so much. And if you still want to help out more, awesome. There's 4 ways you can donate to this ministry in the info description box if you so choose to do so. Now, with all that being said, thank you so much for watching. Take care. I will see you in the next one.